Hello, beautiful makers. I have something exciting for me today. Something new, something bright, as you guys can see. I have uh, not complained, but expressed how these are the colors that are in my heart that I love, that I want to make more things out of, but always like dark stuff and grungy stuff comes out of me. I don't know how it doesn't, from my heart to my transition to my hands, something happens, right? But I guess I also have that in my heart. I don't know, but um this is to me ephemera or memories or keepsakes, because these are my daughter's clothes from growing up. But then in here, mixed in here, there's some new stuff. Like this is new fabric and fabric and fabric. This is vintage fabric that I was given. But I want to talk about how I can recycle these into something new, right? So I have prepared a journal for that. But wait, before we go, can I share something with you? Okay, so she had like a romper jumper thing with lemons on it. And I cut out the lemons from this romper. So I cut out, like, there's like 4 different different clusters of lemons. And I cut them out from here. This is trash. I just wanted to show you. This is clothes that is mostly, my daughter's an artist. So 99.9% of her clothes has paint, or is she likes to dig in the rocks and all that stuff. So she, trust me, she wears out her clothes, and she also has paint, like this one, for example. This is a beautiful dress that I love so much, but I don't know if you can see right here. You see the paint, and whatever she doesn't happen to paint, then in this, I can't see right now so well, but there's this green paint is all over this dress, and she doesn't fit in it no more. Even if it has paint, she'll wear it because that's what she is. And I love it, and I encourage it, and she's awesome. Because she's an artist, like, but she's also an archaeologist and a geologist. She's all over the place. But when it doesn't fit her, some of the patterns I will save, right? So I have this, but I wanted to share something that I started while I was working on this. Look, see, so you know I'm not messing around. These are pants that she had when she was younger, and she wore them, like, even they were shorter, she still wore them. But look, this is something like some kind of rust stain that I was like, that's it, we're done. So I cut up a piece of this because I like it. It looks vintagey to me, so I kept it, and I liked it so much that yesterday when I was gathering my materials for today's project, and I saw the lemons and I saw that fabric, and I started this layout. Isn't it lovely? I have a perfect, if you follow me on Instagram, I took pictures of some lemons that a neighbor gave me, and they just made this beautiful, I have this vintage cabinet that I put them on, and they just look so beautiful. So I'm going to put that picture on here, but I'm kind of like setting up my layout, but I loved it. So it's like this fabric ephemera to me at this point, or decorations, or I don't know how we would go about it, but to me that was perfect. And I wanted to make a journal with this. Wait, I didn't even meant to bring that out. And so I have picked a book. I was going to use this book in last week's project, but I think this one is better for this one. I took it apart already, and I started cutting the paper for it. So all of this paper that you see here is one roll of music. Those what are they called? Like these are here. The ones that come in these boxes. I don't have the other part of it, but the ones that come in here. So those, I cut it up and I use it in this. So if you're wondering how much does one of those make, about this much. Maybe if I was making a smaller book, like one of those regular 5x7s. Then I make a little bit more, but not so much. Look, paper is very thin, and it's really not that long. So here you go. This is what it makes. So the theme inside the book is going to be birdhouses. So birdhouses and birds, because of the flowers and stuff like that. So I kind of started drawing some of them already. That I'm gonna have painted. So like little details. I'm gonna have painted by the end of this video. But for now, I want to start and cut up maybe some pieces and start assembling my little collage of cover for that. I made a spine out of cardboard. So in my last video, I showed how for me it was easier to work with like thinner cardboard but different layers, and it shapes easier to the shape that I wanted, and it makes it easier to work with for me. And sometimes, not all the times does it work this way, but I feel like this way was better for me when I wanted like not super curvy but curvy. And so I made my curve, and then I taped it to the covers, so that because I was starting to like wonder how I'm gonna start this puzzling quilting thing that I wanted to do for the cover, and I didn't have um like an idea so far, but I wanted to start with the spine, because for me, if I start with the spine, then that like centers my collage. Is it collage quilt? So not sure, but I want to start with my spine. In case you're wondering about the tape is construction tape. It was gifted to me, but I know it was used for when they're doing like the scaffolds, and they'll wrap like plastic around it so that like there's no dust or for protection, or I don't know, but this is for that plastic that is done on the scaffold, so it's like really 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 strong. And so I I have a roll of it, and I don't use it as often because it's so freaking awesome. But that's the one I'm using here. It's construction grade. I don't even know what it would be called. Like I don't know, but it's great. It's awesome. If you can get some, maybe at Home Depot or something, I would totally recommend it. The only drawback is that, like, when I have to use silicone on it to like glue something on there, I don't think it's gonna stick as well. But in this case, what I did was I kind of scored it a little bit. Um, Not in the areas closest to like where the book is gonna be opening and closing, but I did score it so that the glue or the silicone goes all the way to the spine, and not just on the what's it called, on the tape. So because I think otherwise it would have looked bubbly or weird, and I didn't want that to happen. So this is me starting on my collage. I think is paper, so I guess quilting would be the best, but this is me starting on that. Once I kind of have laid down what I kind of wanted to do, I started adding some of the vintage ribbons, or just those pink colors and yellow colors that I have for the journal. And I wanted to incorporate them on here. I know that they're not necessarily from my daughter's like clothing and stuff, but I think it'd be a nice touch to the quilt. See, that pink thing that I'm putting on right now is not a ribbon, is the end of a velvet fabric that I use often in this channel. Not often, but you guys see me use it. That's the whole point. And this flower is from another fabric that the whole fabric really didn't fit as much, but I like the flowers so much, and so I just decided to cut them out and add them as a cutout of the of it. So just like a little detail here and there. And so this is me trying to figure out where I'm gonna put little pieces of the fabric and the ribbons around the quilt. Instead of just gluing a lot of stuff down, I wanted to have some of that, that feel that quilting gives you when you see the needle points, or you see the stitching marks, or the stitch. So I wanted to have a little bit of that warmth feeling, so instead of just cold glue. So I decided to give it like a quick stitch around the flower. And I think I put a little stitching on one of the ribbons under that flower. And it was just a little detail. It's not like it's really like, what is it called, necessary. The flower is actually glued, I think. But I just wanted to have a little bit of stitching going around. Okay, so once the whole thing was finished, it was time to glue it. And you guys know the drill. It has to be scored. Otherwise, you're going to have bubbles or weird sections of the book if it's not glued correctly. It will be glued correctly, but um it comes apart, like, if especially if you're going to use it, See right there, that's me scoring it a little bit. See how it's not like detrimental to the structure of the book, but it is it is part of the thing. I had my grandbaby. If you've been a long viewer of the channel, they pop up here and there. When they were 1 year old, I made a turtle shell book, and I put the shell on one of the babies, and it fits so well. But anyways, that's that same baby here. Well, I don't know, because I have twin grandbabies, and it was one of the twins. But this is me trying to struggle to get the centered and to get it right and to make it look even on both sides. Now, I didn't record, or I don't have a recording. I don't know if I forgot or I just don't have it, of that little ribbon that goes around in the back of this inside cover. And then after the ribbon, I put a little piece of fabric that connects the spine to the covers. And then in the corners, I put some of that flower fabric again. Now, this is one of my favorite parts of this journal. Well, all of it is new to me. The quilting, the fabric. I don't think I've done like a girly fabricy quilting book, but I'm so envious of those people that do, because I just it doesn't. Anyways, enough ranting. I'm glad I was able to do it finally. That's what I'm trying to say. So, excuse me. So this is me trying to coat laminate the glue onto the fabric, and then unite these two fabrics together with glue and water, so that it becomes like sort of like a stiff, not stiff, but I don't want it hard and I don't want it soft. I don't want it fabric like. I want it a little stiffer than fabric. That's kind of what I was going for. So I put a lot of water in fabric. I mean, a lot of water and glue in between the two fabrics. The fabric that's going to be more visible for what we're doing here is the pink one. The white fabric is just kind of to reinforce the pink fabric when I cut it, because this is going to be cut in thin strips. So I feel like it would be too not structurally sound per se. So that's why I'm adding the glue, and on top of that, I'm adding like another fabric. I don't know what it is. It's not cotton. Well, it could be. It could be like the other fabric. What is it called? The one that's not stretchy, but it's not plastic. I don't know. Anyways, I wish I was more knowledgeable on fabrics, because I use them quite semi often in my journals, and I sound like a moron when I don't know what the fabric is. But it's a piece of white fabric as a backing for the white. I mean, for the pink. Now, I cut the paper to size of the book, but I don't want this binding that I'm doing here to be out of the book or to go beyond the inside of the book. I want it to be somewhat contained inside the book, so you don't see the binding structure, the way it's bind. The book is bind outside of the book. I want it to be like sort of like a surprise, so I wanted to keep it within the book. And to do that, I had to make the paper either smaller But then I thought about doing this, just cutting the tips of the corners off. And I think it worked super good. It was a great rescue, not rescue, but a great idea to do that instead of like cutting the paper down. You know what I mean? And it doesn't hurt the design of the book. And at the same time, I think it adds on a little detail to the book. I don't know. That's just me. But um, this is me dividing the fabric into 4 cuts because it's going to have 4 strips. I wanted it to have 3, but then I felt like maybe they were going to be too chunky and it wasn't going to work right. This thing is not glued, I mean dried 100%, so I'm trying to work with it as before it dried. And this is me kind of marking where I want the binding to end, at the same time where I want the book. See, like right there, the binding's gonna end where the paper ends, not where the book ends. Do you know what I mean? It's a little different. You'll see at the end how it looks. I really enjoyed how it looks. And this is me cutting it. Now, this is the point where I should have waited to dry, but I was just so eager, Beaver, because I've never done this kind of binding before. And so, well, I've done similar, but not this kind. And I don't think I've seen it before. So this was a learning curve. And so I got inspired in the technique. And so I wanted to get it done with it. But I struggled because it was wet still, not dried, and it wasn't stiff, you know, that it wasn't that stiffness that I wanted the glue to be or to give the fabric. And so because I played with it so much, the glue didn't work. So obviously I had to add more glue. So, but in this case now I use silicone, and silicone works a little faster for me. And plus I ended up, I think another problem that I think I ended up adding too much water, and so it didn't work as it didn't bond as strong as the glue should have done. But in any case, that's me ranting about something that's here or there. So what you do on the strips that I just cut is I fold them and I glue them together, sort of to make a strip. Um, what is that called? Bias? Like those bias strips? Is that what that is? Bias strip? Sounds like bias. No, bias? I don't know. That strip that goes to at the end of a fabric, and I think it is. I think it is called like that. But what I'm trying to do is just glue it together. Like I said, you're not gonna see the white part really much in this. It was just for structural, and this is me just gluing the 2 ends together like a sandwich. And you'll see that at the end, it works out really good. Okay, so here it is. You see how it looks like a little strip. I think, you know what? I think I've seen this done on shirts, like, the like beach shirts that they cut little strips off of it. I think that's where I seen this kind of stuff done. But um, what I'm going to do with the tips is kind of like finish them off, like so they look finished and nicely done at the end. So I'm folding in the ends so that it's not so wide, because I want it to come in like a. Remember, these ends go to the outside of the book. That's where I'm going to attach them. So I want them to be done really nice and clean. So I'm in a sense making a burrito wrap of the tip, and then I'm covering the ends of it with a little piece of canvas so that you don't see all that yucky binding. And on top of that, I want it to be a little thicker in the structure, and on top of that, I want it to be strong, because it's going to be holding all of the papers down, right? So I'm reinforcing, and at the same time I'm making it look more a cleanup kind of like thing, like a cover up. Look how pretty that looks. So in a sense, not really necessary, but in my point of view, I wanted to make sure that it was done nicely and neat. After those were done, it was time to calculate or set up my hole for my how I'm gonna put it on the outside. So I don't know why I marked the dots, but I did. Not necessarily because I'm just gonna make a slit on it, right? But I guess it marks my center of my button, and that's kind of the goal. And so once I've marked the center of my button, I cut the slit, and then once I cut the slit, then I can figure out where I'm going to attach it to the outside, because I I'm going to attach it via sewing the needle. I can't. I mean the button. I don't want it just to be glued on because, like I said, it's structural. Like, so I really need it to be done, um, not correctly, and that's not the word I'm looking for, but done well so that it doesn't come apart when I'm trying to bind my book. You know what? I just noticed that this shot is foggy, and I'm thinking it's because maybe the camera lens was dirty. Oh, I cleaned it up. Thank God. So that's installed, and then I'm installing the paper. But I made this little birdhouse on the one of the signatures on the inside. So what I want it to be is like a multi-layer, so that the birdhouse is in one layer, and then behind it there's flowers. Eh, I really didn't like it. I think that it shows that I wasn't really enjoying it because it's just like half. I don't want to say half ASS, but it is kind of halfway done. And so if you're wondering how I'm gonna put the signatures in, this is how I'm gonna do it. I kept one side unbuttoned to make sure it's easier for me to install my signature. I mean, if your fabric that you're using is a little stretchy, in a sense, you don't need the buttons. But I knew my fabric was going to need the button to make sure that that it gave me that freedom to remove it and then put signatures, take them off, put them back in, and stuff like that. I didn't want, plus I felt like the button was a nice finish. But if you have an idea to do this and then you wanted to finish it somewhere else, you don't have to put a button. And if you don't have to take it off, you definitely don't have to put a button. Um, like leather, I don't think you would have to need it for leather because leather is a little flexible, and or maybe not. Depends on the thickness of your leather, but see, there's me. And now because I don't know how to really make holes and buttons and all that stuff, I struggle with this part because I think I didn't cut the hole big enough, or there's a process to it. I don't know. But this is me like solving the whole thing with an extra cut. But I didn't want it to I don't want the cut to show once you put the button. I want it to look like the button and was sewn onto the top of the fabric. I don't know. I'm very like weird about my way of thinking and how I see my stuff. But in any case, this is kind of how it looks. And I'm really happy. I'm really happy that the pictures are like whatever, but I like that I used piano paper, and it just really look how it looks at the end. How the little corner that I cut on the paper is like I loved how it came out. I really loved how it looks from the outside. The button, the binding that comes to the outside, I just really loved it. Okay, so I got an idea. On the book, I am going to store or use it like a album of some of my favorite what are they, greeting cards. So I have these very vintage greeting cards that I purchased a few years ago now, and they are the cutest thing in the world. Look at these ones. And I have all these 4 boxes are filled with them. They are just the cutest patootiest. Look at this one. They are so adorable. You need to stop. It's my dog pushing me to let him outside. He's booping me. But see, these are all adorable. This is a box of envelopes, mostly. Oh my gosh, I tell you guys, every single time I press play. Stop. I mean, I play record. Look at this box. Okay, so this one are the long ones. I don't know about separating this one, but there's a lot of duplicates, so maybe. And they're all like embossed, so I really like that. This ones I have duplicates of, so I may even send. I think I'm gonna put a little packet together for like maybe 2 or 3 for my Patreons. So if you're a Patreon of mine, you might be getting some of these on your way. I like this one. So I'm gonna fill my journal up with some of these. Excuse me, some of these beautiful cards. Stop it. He wants me to play with him and he's pooping me. Like with his nose. Anyway, stop. See how he moves my arm? Look at this one. This one's beautiful because it's big cards. The box says there's 10 large shh! Stop it! 10 large frame postcards, but I only have 6. I think I could frame them and put in my daughter's room. I think I'm gonna do that with these. I'm gonna ask her if she wants them. They're just stinking adorable. Happiness is hearing you are up and well again. Look at them. They're adorable. Oh my gosh. Stop it. Okay, that's this box. But then this one. Look at it. Look at the box. Stop. Athena, go over there. Go. Look. And then this one has different ones. All these beautiful. Look at this one. So I'm going to pick all of my favorite ones and I'm going to glue them. Or maybe not glue them. But I want to put them in there. Because I don't want to keep them in the boxes. But then what am I going to do with the boxes? I think the boxes, I should give them away too. Because I want somebody to enjoy them. I have them in a tote in the garage. And they need to be enjoyed. They need to be displayed. Look at this one. So, I don't know. I think I'm going to wrestle with it. This is one of my favorite ones. I'm going to wrestle with it for a little bit and see if maybe the boxes, I'm going to get rid of the boxes. And some of the duplicates or some of the cards that I'm not going to put in there, I'm going to send them out to my Patreons. And then at the end, look at this one. Then the boxes, I definitely think that they should be displayed. Maybe in one of those offices, like I see creative, oh, this is my favorite one. One of those creative offices or places that I see they're colorful. I can't display it on my office because they're too colorful. I think it doesn't go in my space. But, I don't know, maybe this one does. I don't know. We'll see. But let me pick my favorite ones and then I'll flip it after at the end. Okay, so here it is finished. So I'm going to flip through it. But before I want to show you, I put a button on here. And I just cut through the fabric to get to the book, the actual cover. And then I cross-hatched the cover on this little area so that it can be really securely attached all the way to the cover. And then I just... Some of them, there's more than... I kept more than 2. There's like 3 of these, so I kept 2. I'm going to give 1 away. So that's kind of how I did some of them. And some of them are attached to here. I tried a thread. So like I sewed a thread onto here. And then I can put it on this side. Let me take this. And then I put little pieces of tape on this side. But I saw that it was not working correctly. So then on this side, I put a clip paper clip through the little holes on the paper. So it holds these two that I kept two and giving away one. And it holds these other two that I'm keeping two and giving away one. So sort of like that. So here I kept two. Here I kept two as well. And so I was going to put two per page, but there was no need. I had enough space for all the ones that I wanted to keep. I color some pages and some I haven't had time to. But I guess as I'm collecting and, spending time in my journal, I like to go back and, finish it. And it's part of enjoying the journal, Maybe I'll pick some of these colors off of here to color them. This was one of my favorite ones. Oh, and this other one right here. This one. Like a 3D kind of thing. Pops up. And then I really like the colors on this one. And these. They're all so beautiful. This one's also one of my favorites. And this one was done very well. It had flowers and birds even in the back too. I put a little bit of double-sided tape on these so I could always take them off and use them in case I wanted to use them for something, So same as here, they all have double-sided tape. I can reuse them. This was also one of my favorites. This one. I love how a lot of them are embellished. This lady had a larger collection. It was a estate sale, but I only grabbed like 1 or 2 boxes, and my husband's like, no, grab more. I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do with them. I don't want it to be in the box, but, we still grab them, and I'm so grateful that we grabbed more than the ones I've had. They're so cute. And I am going to keep the big ones for my daughter. So I'm going to frame those and put them in her room. But the boxes, I am going to, see if there's a better home for them than me. And that's it. This is my last one. And I'm hoping that that one of you, or a few of you, take the boxes. If you're a Patreon subscriber, you are going to get an email asking if you are interested in a box, and most likely you'll probably see if you can get some of the letters or the cards that I have left from this project, and give them a new life with you guys. So anyways, I'm really happy how it came out. Look how it looks on the top. I don't know if you could see. I love how this came out. This is, removable. I could always add more. I can move it around. I could add different paper if I wanted to. I love that it's girly. I'm so proud of my first girly journal. Well, I'm calling it girly. But I love it so much. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I really appreciate it. I felt so connected to this journal because it's my little girl's clothes. And it's vintage fabric that I've had with vintage greeting cards. It's like perfect. Thank you again so much for visiting and watching this video. Till next time, guys, stay crafting. I love you guys. Bye.